Nós estamos agora aqui junto com o time da Força Aérea Sueca, que trouxe um JAS 39C para demonstração aqui no Riad. Então, nós estamos aqui na presença do piloto com call sign Sunshine, num dia totalmente nublado, onde a coisa que faria diferença aqui era um pouquinho de sol, né? Então, o Sunshine vai explicar para a gente o que as características do GRIPEN C e a gente vai levar essa conversa a partir daí. Okay? So, why don't you tell us a little bit about the C model? I understand the C model is a migration towards NATO way before Sweden became a NATO country.
That's
so
correct.
What is the C model and what does it offer?
The C model is like an upgraded A version. We got the A version first in Sweden, but that was only for Sweden. And then we or actually SAAB in this particular case, upgraded the A version to a C version. So it's international, made for NATO. So it's a completely different aircraft. It looks the same, but inside it's evolved for 20 years from an old aircraft to today still a modern aircraft.
So in the original A model, you had the heights in meters and you had speed in kilometers per hour, and then the C brings the NATO standard of feet in height and speeds in knots. Can your system change to one or the other, or when you move to C, you have to change the pilot?
No, of course not. You don't need to change the pilot because aviation worldwide flies on knots and feet, of course. But the big thing is that we changed this. It's easier to use the aircraft outside Sweden. For the pilots, it's just a matter of numbers. So not too big a difference from for the pilot. Still, you can change it via some buttons in the aircraft, but we never do it. We use the NATO standard or the civilian standard in the aircraft, but that's only a small part of what has changed from the A version. A lot of the integrated weapons, the systems, the links, the network, that's completely different from the A version.
What weapons can you use on the C that you did not have before on the A?
Almost the same. But we got new weapons, so the IRST and the Meteor missile, that's new weapons, and they were never integrated on the A version. So they are, of course, new for this one, and maybe a really big step for what you can do with the aircraft range-wise with missiles.
Am I correct to say that the C's were built out of the A's, so there are no A's left?
Yeah, that's correct.
So you use part of the fuselage of the A's?
Actually, both. They converted A versions to C versions. At the same time, they built new C versions. So we don't have both.
Okay.
Because it's the same A-frame. And then if you compare it to the Echo, that's a completely different story.
As a GRIPEN pilot, how does it feel to live right next door to Russia with giant fighters such as flankers? There's a lot of discussion whether small is beautiful versus big is big echoes and stuff. Is this the right plane to face giant fighters like Russian fighters?
Actually, I think from our part of view in NATO now, and you have the F-35 both soon east and west of us in Finland and Norway. Good with the different aircraft you could have, because if everyone has the same aircraft, and if the opponent knows the weakness, it knows the weakness for everyone. So I think that really good that we have the C version in Sweden, and soon the E version will be that we have something different. We have something we could add on the F-35 and be better on, and just not doing the same thing. We'll be stronger together.
I believe that flying the GRIPENs with F-35s of neighboring countries will create a combined net positive effect.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Now, in the next months, you'll be receiving your E models. And how is expectation within the Swedish Air Force to receive the E model and what changes for the pilot in the E?
The big thing that changes is that that's a completely different aircraft. Of course, it looks the same, but it's a bit bigger. It can carry more weapons, a bigger engine, more fuel, and the electronics is way different. Initially, it's going to be a big step for us. So I think the pilots need to train a lot to be able to use all that stuff on it. So initially, we need a lot of training, and we'll actually keep both the C and the Echo version at the same time in Sweden. So we have the different parts that we can complete each other with.
So the E will not replace the C's; they'll be complementing the C's.
Yeah, as it is now. Yeah. So we will actually keep around 40% of the C versions, and together with all the new E versions.
Now the F. The F was something that Brazil originally brought as a requirement, but then in the end, the Swedish Air Force also said, "Oh, well, we're going to have some Fs." What is the role of the F, the expected role of the F within the Swedish Air Force? It's not just training.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know now because that's the only thing we use the Echo version, or not the Delta for the C version, is that we use it for training. We use it as show what we can do, and especially a lot of training. Initially, I think Sweden thought that we could go with only single-seaters. We have done that before, but they probably see something extra that we haven't seen yet on the spotters.
Okay, one of the things that E brings to the table is something that originally I understand the Swedish Air Force was not looking at, but Brazilian Air Force decided for it, and now you guys are going to get it too, which is the wide area display.
Yeah.
That seems a jump forward.
Yeah, that's a jump forward, and also that you can configure it in so many different ways. I think that's a really good thing, and also that the displays in the shoulder version now is still really good. If you compare that to a lot of different fighters, that it's modern and active today, but still the step forward is the wide area display. I think that because then you can combine everything, and something that's the GRIPEN and SAAB is really good at, that's sensor fusion. You combine all the sensors and give an easy picture and an easy information, not overload, for the pilot to be able to take the right decisions.
I understand that information fusion is a very, very complicated part of designing a new plane, because if you don't get it right, you're going to start getting double, triple information on the screen, and you don't know how many aircraft are flying against you if you don't get that precisely done.
Yeah. But that's actually something that we really already have in the shoulder version. So I think it's not going to be anything new for the Echo. They're just going to make it even better.
So tell us a little bit how one pilot becomes a display pilot.
Yeah, first of all, I started in the Air Force 15 years ago, flying the GRIPEN. So I've flown the GRIPEN for 15 years. And like 5 years ago, plus I actually got an interview and I applied to be a display pilot in the Swedish Air Force, and I got the opportunity to do it. It's awesome. It's amazing.
How do you become a display pilot?
Yeah, in Sweden, to be a display pilot, from my perspective, you start as a quite experienced pilot. And from my point of view, I've been flying the GRIPEN for 15 years. After flying it for 10, I applied to be a display pilot, and I did some interviews, and I got picked for it. After you get picked, you get quite good training. It's almost 40 sorties to be able to do it tight, fast, and to show the agile aircraft GRIPEN in front of the crowd.
And how do you come up with the display? How do you decide which maneuvers do the best in showing the capabilities of the plane?
Yeah, first of all, I think what is good with GRIPEN, because you could show different maneuvers, but you need to show that what's specific, what's good. And with the GRIPEN, the fly-by-wire, the agile, the quick maneuvers, the tightness is what it's good for and what it's good at. So I took those maneuvers and put them together and tried to do something that is a show that it happens new stuff all the time. So it's not going to be boring.
The display pilot is under any specific squadron, or is it under some other organization within the...
I'm a squadron pilot as well, so I do this during the summer from like May to September, and during the winter I do squadron stuff.
Okay.
Tactical instructor.
If you're going to sell this plane to somebody who did not fly it, what would you point out as its main special items that you will love this?
The thing that I think is super cool, that it's so easy to use. It's good systems as well, of course, but if it's hard to use the systems, you're not going to do it effectively and good. Easy, you can concentrate on doing the stuff really good, and not like giving it 100% of just flying and trying to do that stuff. So the easiness and the way the pilot get the situation awareness, I think that's the main part of the GRIPEN.
And you said that you work in these displays during the summertime. Of course, it's the good weather time of Europe. How many shows do you attend every year?
It depends actually, but 10, 15 shows maybe. So during almost every weekend from May to September-ish. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've been very kind.
No problem. And the rain. Thank you.